What's going on, Purple People podcast fans? Welcome to this week's show. It is Victory Monday on November 2nd, 2020. Couldn't believe it. I'm still in shock. My name is Kyle Smith. I'm joined by Kyle West.
Hey, what a awesome day to be a Vikings fan because we beat the Green Bay Packers. It doesn't matter how bad our season is going, beating Green Bay is always fun.
That's right. Adam Carlson's happy. I'm glad that he's here as well. What's up, sir? How are you?
Well, I'm trying to decide if I'm happy because I just got my first strike in the Survival League because I went against the Vikings and picked the Packers.
Oh my goodness, I forgot about that. You talked about that last week.
So yeah, I guess I'm okay getting the strike because that means the Vikings won, and they've got a interesting schedule coming up that could put the team in a interesting spot moving forward.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get the cat out of the bag here. I don't think you see what I did there?
You summoned him.
Yesterday, the Vikings went into Lambeau Field, which is even a bigger a feat. And I think if we've pulled up the predictions from all the analysts and experts, I think you would have seen all yellow and green up on the screen. But the Vikings came out yesterday with a 28-22 victory. It was a very, very quick first half. I think there were only 4 possessions between both teams to start. And once the third quarter hit and then the second half began, things just kind of fell the Vikings' way, which is not usually what happens.
Mm-hmm.
They stepped up, and a lot of players that we kind of put down a peg or two, they stepped up yesterday, and it was really awesome. There's a really good guy on the team named Dalvin Cook, if you've never heard of him. He's all right. I think he's going to make it. Set an NFL record yesterday of scoring 4 consecutive touchdowns, I believe it's called, where every drive you go in, you score, and the same player scores. So that's never happened in the history of the NFL. The Vikings got the ball 4 times in a row, and each of those times, Dalvin Cook found a way to score. And it was pretty much the game plan yesterday. The Vikings were like, okay, we're going to give the ball to this guy, and you try to stop him. And the Packers were like, no, we're good.
First Vikings player since Ahmad Rashad to score 4 touchdowns in a game. And you know what that means, right? There was a Hall of Famer, 2 Hall of Fame wide receivers between Ahmad Rashad and Dalvin Cook, and they weren't able to do it.
Very true. I believe Kyle Smith can play corner. He's going to be filling in for Minnesota. I know how much he loves to run like 40-yard dash and stuff. So
Can I play slot instead? I don't want to be on an
Sure.
island. That's gonna help me in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, you're probably in the best shape among all of us. I have no place unless I'm filling in for Pat Williams or something.
I mean, I could be that guy that'll bring your helmet to you faster than anyone else in the locker room squad. That I'm confident of. But yeah, that was a cool game yesterday. I
ever watch that movie, The Comebacks?
What? Oh, God. That's a great reference.
All I can picture is that scene in my head. Ridiculous.
Yesterday, I'm going to think about that for the whole show now. Yesterday was crazy because I certainly did not give the Vikings any chance to win this game.
No.
And you know the biggest reason why was actually, knock on wood, the thing that happened to be the best thing for the Vikings yesterday. I say, you know what? Dalvin Cook's nursing an injury. I predicted in my head he might play a half to 3/4 of the game. We'll see a little bit more of Madison. But that was not the case yesterday. The stat line here is a good one. And let me pull up the box score. Dalvin Cook had 30 carries for 163 yards on the ground. And then he also led the team in receptions. Now, he only had – or receiving yards. He only had 2 receptions, but he had 63 receiving yards. And his long was a 50 on a screen, which is really awesome. I mean, the guy did everything yesterday. He was the entire offense.
Yet Pro Football Focus has 2 offensive linemen graded above him.
That's a good sign. And I kind of figured we were going to talk about them. And who better to talk about the O-line than Adam Carlson here?
Oh, I'm not talking about it. I'm just bragging about it. But it can take us into game balls and donkeys.
Let's do it. The obvious choice here, we're talking about him. We'll say a consensus. Dalvin Cook ran the show yesterday, but I'm gonna go and give it to. He's got it a couple times this year, and we got to give it to him again. Eric Kendricks. I mean, he is the best defensive player on the team.
Absolutely.
He's the best middle linebacker in football. He was playing corner yesterday on Devontae Adams for home plays, and I could not believe that was happening. And he did a good job.
Yeah.
12 total tackles, 8 by himself. I mean, he had 9 tackles in the first quarter, I think.
And some of those plays that Aaron Rodgers was completing during this game were throws that you just can't defend. And Zimmer had drawn up the right play. The players were in the right spots. It's just sometimes you can't defend an amazing throw. You can't. It's the way the NFL works. But I'm going to give my game ball to Riley Reef because he deserves it.
Nice.
The Vikings did a great job opening up lanes in the run game for Dalvin Cook this entire game. And Riley Reef was sealing off that edge so well that when he was bouncing outside to the left, that it was amazing. And he was blocking a pass rush from Green Bay that is usually very, very stout from the Packers. So, yeah, I got to give some love to that left tackle that saw absolutely no love this offseason.
What about you, Kyle? Who's your game ball going to this week?
I mean, Dalvin Cook is the obvious choice for this one. I think we all pretty much agree that Dalvin Cook gets an honorary game ball for this one. He was the offense. I'm going to go with Ezra Cleveland. Ezra is a player I've been really excited to see on the field. He's finally getting an opportunity. He looked a little shaky when we first seen him from Minnesota, but you're starting to see him get acclimated to the NFL, and I think that the more time he gets on the field, you're going to see him looking better and better. I'm looking forward to seeing him eventually turn to his natural position out there at left tackle. He's playing guard right now, but he'll eventually find a home for the Vikings on this line. Good job for Ezra Cleveland.
Well, we're praising the blocking. We can't forget that C.J. Ham did a good job blocking, and we saw some really excellent blocking from Irv Smith Jr., despite a penalty that I am going to say he did not deserve for offensive pass interference. That wasn't a pick. He was just trying to get where he was going.
I got to eat crow on some Irv Smith blocking. If you guys join us in the Discord chat early on in this game, I was like, it's not blocking well. No, he had a great game blocking. And I'm not going to knock him for not getting a lot of receptions yesterday. We'll talk about it.
Nobody got many receptions yesterday.
Exactly. But before we get into the donkeys, nobody got receptions because Kirk Cousins only threw the ball 14 times and there was only 160 yards in the air. So, yeah, when they're running the ball that well, I mean, why would you?
They were running the ball great, and that was a windy game. There were, what they say, 30, 35 mile per hour gusts of wind. You've seen the kickers pre-game where you go to kick the ball, and the ball is just all over. So you're not going to be throwing it. Dalvin Cook had himself a hell of a game. So no need to get them involved in this one.
True. As far as donkeys, it's hard to pick apart a player that really had a terrible performance because I didn't think there really was one. This team played really well as a whole, but I'm going to pull one of you guys. I'm going to do a move that you guys like to do and give the donkey to someone that isn't even on the team.
Yeah.
So, Yannick Ngakoue, I see you want to go to a winning team and didn't quite work out for you this week. And that's okay because the Vikings got a lot of young, talented defenders that are going to be really good in the future. They're going to be really good. Moving Jalen Holmes up there worked out real well. DJ Wanham, as I've said before, looks like a Danielle Hunter clone. And if he can get anywhere near that level, he's going to be an amazing player. So the Vikings can draft and develop defensive ends. They can get that pass rush. And even though they just had the one sack of the day, it came at a great time, and they pressured all game long.
Right on. I had said in the chat, and you guys kind of disagreed, but as a unit, they played better without Yannick Ngakoue, which is weird because he's a super talented player, and he was playing fine. Was it a fluke? Will they find success for the remainder of the season without him? I don't know. We'll find out. Just saying.
As I've said before, a fluke is one of the most common fish in the sea.
Yeah.
So odds are, if you go fishing for a fluke, you're going to catch one.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, and this is probably recency bias here, because I can think of one or two more, maybe last year, the Saints game, because nobody had us winning that game. But I think this is one of the most well-coached Mike Zimmer games I've watched in his tenure here. I wanted to talk about, I can't pick a donkey for this game. There's too many nitpicky things to go through. I really liked it.
KJ Osborne, maybe, for being so slow to react on that kickoff to not pick it up when he knew it wasn't going to reach the end zone. That's probably the only play that I really shook my head no at.
This was a really good game. Even with the wind messing up, Dan Bailey attempted no field goals yesterday. The Packers went for it on like 4 4th downs because the wind was so bad.
Yeah.
They had no other choice. And I think the Vikings, there was a weird snap. Dan Bailey had to adjust, like, as he was about to get his head taken off. The wind was going crazy. I mean, they did pretty much everything correct yesterday. And against this team who was the mighty giant of the NFC North, I'm really, really proud of what Mike Zimmer did. And guess what? For the defense, they stuck with, hey, we're just going to send 4 most of the day, and we're going to let coverage decide. Hey, look, that's it. And that was enough pressure yesterday. And that was.
And what did you think about that defensive rotation where we saw so many players come in? All those guys I named already all got time. And then you've got Hercules Mataafa getting in the game, possibly having the best game of his career without nodding a sack. I mean, he was getting in there and getting pressure as well.
We've heard about this for quite a while, Mike Zimmer wanting to have a rotation along the defensive line. I don't feel like we've ever really seen it come to fruition until this game. But you're right. They really did have a good rotation. And that might just be due to injuries. You know, you're down a Daniil Hunter. You got no one at corner.
Right.
So they're just out there rotating players in and out, keeping a fresh body on the field.
Ifeadi Odenigbo said that he was looking too far ahead at times this season and wasn't focusing on the game at hand, and he wanted to do more of a better job of preparing for the game he's playing and focusing on the game that's coming up this week. And if we can get a focused Ifeadi on the field, along with these young, hungry players that are just trying to prove that they are worth sticking around on this team, I'm not too worried about this pass rush without Daniil Hunter or Unique Ngakwe. I mean, the star name power isn't there, but they're getting results.
Well, I want to dovetail off of that instead of piggybacking. I have to say, did you guys see the amount of double teams that he got? He's getting respect from other teams, which I thought was crazy. But then thinking about Unique Ngakwe being gone, maybe it isn't that crazy, but it set up a day for a guy eventually. And you saw it. If you paid attention to the game, the pass rush, they were this close on a lot of plays. There were a lot of pressures yesterday, which set up eventually for the game ender from DJ Wanham, which I saw that turn into a meme yesterday about 5 million times over, and it was hilarious. But yeah, I still can't believe
one's my favorite.
Which one?
The Titanic one.
Oh God, I don't know if I've seen it, but I kind of have an idea where it's going. Yeah,
Good
so
stuff.
Dalvin Cook played amazing. The defense adjusted very well. I think they took a lot of, and I heard this on some podcasts today driving into work. Viking-specific podcasts, just regular NFL recap podcasts of the week. They did a lot of good adjustments, and they really studied. It looks like they studied the Tampa Bay tape to say, all right, cool, how can we frustrate this team? And we'll give it to the Packers. They played all right. Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers. He made some great adjustments.
The Packers, they were without their starting running back. They were without their starting offensive tackle. They weren't at full strength. The Vikings weren't either. And you know what? As the game went on, the Vikings got closer and closer to worse strength because they just kept losing players, whether it was a jarring neck injury, a punctured lung, a weird leg injury. It's just the Vikings are, I don't know what the team is going to do at cornerback going forward. And I do want to add in one other thing. If you listen to Vikings radio and podcasts, not everybody is still as positive about Kirk Cousins as we are. And everybody, or not everybody, but many of those sources are really saying that the best formula to get a win for this Minnesota Vikings offense is to have Kirk Cousins do as little as possible because he could screw things up. Now, I kind of understand that because, coming into this game, Kirk Cousins led the league in interceptions. He did. And those were a lot of mistakes. Some of them were just Hail Marys that he tried at end of halves and quarters. But there were some bad decisions and overall bad throws in there. But to me, it seems kind of unfair to say, okay, Dalvin Cook is having the game of his career right now. So why would you take away from that to try to pass more than 14 times in a game?
That's the same crap that we heard last year from Colin Cowherd. He ripped into Kirk Cousins. Remember, he started last season 2-2. The first game, I think it was against the Falcons. He only threw maybe 10 times, and he's like, "Oh, they're telling you what they say." It's like, or there's a formula. If you're getting like 6-7 yards a carry, why would you not stick with that?
Right.
If it's going to be glaringly obvious, like taking candy from a baby, then take it. I hate that narrative. I'm still on the we can move on from Kirk Cousins sooner than later thing. I don't believe in him to take us to the promised land, but this is in the way the NFL, and you guys tell me if it's wrong, especially everyone in the chat, but you guys chime in if you think I'm wrong on this. But a lot of people now, they set up the run because they pass a lot, and that's the way the NFL is going, is pass happy. The Vikings are sticking to the old school way of we'll set up the pass through the run rather than vice versa, like the NFL does today. And you don't have to do that. And as long as Dalvin Cook is healthy, I love this formula for them. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, the whole situation to me isn't a good one. I still am not sure that Kirk Cousins is a quarterback that will elevate the team to the point where he's worth what the Vikings are paying. But I don't think he's bad enough where if you put the football in his hands, he's going to ruin you games.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm not sold on him long term being the solution for Minnesota, but I'm also not ready to dust off the old Christian Ponder playbook and just be like, well, we're just not going to throw the ball at all. He's not a detriment to the team overall. I mean, we've seen him in spurts play terrible football this season. But I don't think that long term, like Kyle Smith, like you say all the time, what is it? You throw out best season, worst season. So you throw out Kirk Cousins' best game and worst game, and he's somewhere in the middle. So I don't think that you can take those absolutely down moments and say that that's what he is going to be moving forward, unless that continues to be a trend.
Yeah, and like last year, he had never, I mean, I added it up yesterday, and this is the note that I had yesterday because I was so pessimistic about the Vikings winning yesterday. It is what it is. Since Kirk Cousins became a Viking, now as of yesterday, it's not a 500 right at the line. It was yesterday before the game was 20 wins, 20 losses, and a tie. Now it's 21 wins, 20 losses, and a tie. He's a pretty average, middle-of-the-pack quarterback, and I think he's getting overcompensated for that. But I think what the Vikings did, and we talked about this, we don't have to turn this into the Kirk Cousins show, but the Vikings made a
Minshew yet?
Yeah, we can talk. Let's bring him in, man. We'll let Adam talk about him because I'm on that train. But the Vikings did what the league did. It's a copycat league. You've heard that before, watching film and watching old highlights. But it's not just because of the plays on the field that people are running. The trend now is find a quarterback, give him a shitload of money, and he's going to lead you to the promised land. The Eagles have done it. The Texans have done it. The Seahawks.
Not looking too good for Houston's decision, though.
Oh, and most of them don't, and that's the point I was going to make, Adam. That most of the guys that are super, super compensated, their teams are terrible. Minus Russell Wilson.
Waiting on Dak, and that looks like it might have been a smartish move right now.
My point being for that is
stud rookie quarterback, and you got that 4 years, 5 years with the option. Or you got that 5-year window to build a super team around a cheap rookie quarterback.
And Wentz doesn't look that good?
No.
Wentz looks terrible.
We'll see what happens if there's any team that I think that will be able to overcome that. It's going to be Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Derek Carr doesn't look that good?
Yeah.
Well, Kyle, you make a great point. I'll let one of these guys look and see if I don't know the answer to that one, Andrew, but we'll leave it up for a second. But Kyle, you made a good point, and I've said it on the show before. And here's the worst case scenario if we do what Kyle West was just talking about, which we've said on this show many times. Draft a rookie quarterback that you know is going to just blow your socks off, either athletically or maybe he's just as smart as Peyton Manning was before, and have that window where if at worst you get a 5th-year option and you get 5 productive years on a cheap deal, you get a Patrick Mahomes or a Lamar Jackson. You have a most valuable player or maybe a Super Bowl MVP. And if you don't feel like you want to commit to him, you haven't thrown your whole fortune at him and you're kind of handicapping yourself. You know what I mean? And I think 5 years is pretty good, a long enough time to evaluate a talent. But the point being is you can build a team around in that time. And let's say you get to the promised land. The Vikings have never done that. They win a championship. Well, now you have the best problem in the world. Do I pay the guy? Do I not pay the guy? But either way, we've made it because we didn't have to pay the guy that much money.
Worst case scenarios, you end up with a quarterback that just didn't work out, and you're like the Bears, or when the Browns tried to grab quarterbacks for a while there. That was pretty rough.
Oh, this is a great point here. We mentioned this in our chat together. The Vikings are stretched thin at DB. Thank God one of the safeties didn't get hurt yesterday. Good God. I think Eli Apple should be getting a phone call from the Vikings. I think the corner that just got released from Dallas last week should be getting a call. They have to sign somebody. And they have a little bit of money, as I mentioned over here a couple of minutes ago. They have a little bit of money to go sign a veteran. Hopefully it's a vet minimum or something, but they've got to do something. Cameron Dancer left the game yesterday. It was a terrifying thing to watch. His neck twisted and contorted when he collided with Anthony Harris. Luckily, he's all right as of right now. Still movement. He moved his fingers and everything, so there's not going to be any worry about maybe paralyzation there. Who else got hurt yesterday? Mark Boyd Fields got hurt. Chris Boyd was hurt. I'm trying to think of who else they poured into the game. I mean, they were just they were pulling out every corner they had yesterday just to put someone in the field.
Yeah.
So this is definitely the biggest area of need for the Vikings right now because they're stretched thin thanks to all these injuries.
The Browns jersey with the quarterback's names on it. Yeah, that's something that once you see, you never forget.
We don't have much right to talk.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Vikings didn't go through that many, but boy, some of them were rough.
There's been some misses on that list.
But not really so much with the draft. I mean, they tried some players. They brought in a couple cheaper free agents. McNabb was probably their biggest miss as far as free agents.
Ugh.
McNabb, Josh Freeman.
The Freeman game was still my favorite.
They found success with some quarterbacks. Brad Johnson. How many times was he with the team? 3 times.
Kelly Holcomb.
Gus Frerotte. I loved Gus Frerotte when he was in the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah.
I even liked Sean Salisbury.
Yeah.
I'm looking through yesterday, and if you looked at the stat sheet, you would think this is a game from back in the 60s or 70s here. It's crazy, man. Only Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw for 300 yards. That kind of is weird to look at. He did have 3 touchdowns, and so did Devontae Adams yesterday. But still, they just couldn't get anything going in the second half. They had to, thanks to the weather, they couldn't really do a lot punting or field goal kicking wise. So they had to go for it a lot yesterday, which was kind of fun to watch. I like to see the Vikings in those situations because they usually thrive. But I'm looking down the stats here. We mentioned Kirk Cousins, 11 of 14. No turnovers, which is great. 1 touchdown to Dalvin Cook on a screen. Dalvin Cook had 30 carries for 163 yards. He averaged 5.4. 3 touchdowns on the ground. For receiving, we have Dalvin Cook leading with 63 yards, 3 of 2. Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson each caught 3 balls, 27 and 26 yards. And then Chad Beebe, a rare Chad Beebe sighting yesterday, which was nice. All you Chad Beebe lovers out there. Eric Wilson ended up recovering a fumble from the Packers. And this is where the fun begins. The defensive stats yesterday. Eric Kendricks.
Look at all those players.
Goodness, man. There's so many. Eric Kendricks, 12 total tackles, 8 by himself. Jeff Gladney, Harrison Smith both had 8 tackles apiece, and then Anthony Harris. We go down the list. When the top guy from the fourth from the top here is Anthony Harris at 6. There's a ton of players down here with 2, 1. There's just so many people getting involved yesterday. It was great. The Vikings had 2 pass breakups, 2 quarterback hits, and 1 sack yesterday to DJ Wanham. Shout out to DJ Wanham yesterday.
If you guys haven't listened to that Paul Allen call on the Wanham play,
oh, it's so good.
It's definitely worth checking out.
I haven't, but I'll have to. My friend Samantha just messaged me. She's a big Packers fan. She said someone on the Green Bay Packers has COVID-19.
Ooh.
Don't know who.
Well, the running backs, I believe.
Some scares there.
Anyone in the chat has information on that one, let us know.
I believe it's one of their running backs.
Is it?
Yes, tested positive before the game yesterday. I did see this update. So the Vikings will be in pretty stringent will be a pretty stringent protocol this week, but knock on wood, they'll keep going and being successful like they were throughout most of the season now. They got lucky with that Titan scare. Who's the poor rook that was our 12th man on the field? Wasn't that linebacker that was coming off?
I want to say it was Troy Dye.
Yeah, it was Troy Dye, and I thought the wording on this was really funny. That's funny you mentioned that, Andrew, because it says, well, you have 12 men on the field, but he was literally exiting the field and in the air. There was no part of his body that was actually on the field, but there was a penalty called, and that's just a very savvy Aaron Rodgers move. Give him credit for that.
And that wasn't the Vikings' only 12 men on the field penalty of the day either, so I don't know.
Does anyone else still have nightmares as a Vikings fan anytime you hear that 12th man on the field penalty? Like,
no, but I was definitely having really bad doubts when the Vikings ran the ball 3 times to eat the clock instead of doing a play-action pass on one of those downs and gave the ball back to Green Bay at the end of the game. That was just had me scared. Had me so scared.
That was scary giving them the ball back, but it was nice to see them run the clock out. I definitely like the fact that they only had, I think, 47 seconds versus like a minute 37. Because if they had a minute and a half, I guarantee that game was going into overtime.
It's game over.
or we're going to lose it. So, it was great too. Good tackling there on that last drive because they kept their tight end in bounds, and Green Bay wasted a good 10, 11 seconds. So it was down to one play, 10 seconds. I think it was around the 40 or close to midfield.
You don't want to give Aaron Rodgers a Hail Mary.
No,
you don't.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not gonna say any names, but I listened to something this morning. And they said, "Oh, Aaron Rodgers is washed." And I'm like, please don't say that. He's not washed yet. That's such a reach. I saw the play that he made to the tight end yesterday. What's that?
That's overreaction statement.
And people just getting too happy on this win yesterday. I saw him, the savvy stuff that he did with the 12th man penalty, and then it was early on in the game. He rolled out to the left a little bit and threw to this tight end, and it was just one of those like, oh well, yeah, that's an Aaron Rodgers throw. That sucks. Devontae
the Vikings lucked out in some ways too. With there were a couple throws that Aaron Rodgers just kind of missed, and one was a streaking tight end that had he not put as much zip on that football, that'd have been a touchdown.
Yeah, you wonder if the wind caught that one a little bit.
Yeah, with the wind being so much of a factor, you kind of have to wonder how much of this win was because the game was kind of forced into a run script.
Well, they don't have as nice of a stadium as what we do.
That is true.
What do you like of the Lambeau leap in the empty stadium?
I'm sure that pissed off a lot of people. I'm sure that pissed off a lot of folks yesterday. But and you know what? Good for him, because if there were any fans in the stands, this was a year ago, that wouldn't have happened. They would have pushed him out pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
That's funny.
I was going to find those purple jerseys.
Right.
Well, this is cool. I didn't realize this yesterday, but every team in the NFC North lost yesterday, but the Vikings.
They did.
So that's a good sign for the team. They're only three wins out from first place. The Packers and the Bears both have 5 wins apiece. They're one away from the Lions, whom they play this Sunday.
Correct.
The Everson Griffin Revenge Tour starts. That's pretty cool. We could
If the
slide up to
Vikings
third
win
place with a win.
this coming weekend, I believe by virtue of the head-to-head, they would jump the Lions and be out of the cellar in the NFC North, which would be amazing.
Yep. I don't want to be that guy that gives people hope, because I just don't believe in it, because this team has broken my heart so many times. But I can tell you right now, they split with the Packers, which we haven't done since 2017. I think they swept them that year, but we haven't beaten the Packers since the Minneapolis Miracle season. I do believe that we can sweep the Lions. If they sweep the Bears, guys, this is crazy. They'd be 5-1 in the division. Now they're not gonna have the win total the Packers have.
Are you looking past the Cowboys in your mathematics there?
Oh, absolutely. I'm more worried about the Panthers and the Jaguars and the Dallas Cowboys. That's just being an honest fan there.
Okay, here's what I think. I am willing to accept that this might be our best game of the season. This might be the most fun we have, beating Green Bay at home, even though there's no fans in the stadium. So, dude, I'm gonna enjoy this one. I'm just gonna enjoy this victory, because I have no idea. I still don't know what this team is.
Well, both of the Vikings' wins so far this season have both come on the road. Minnesota is winless at US Bank Stadium so far.
Yeah, they can't keep doing that.
That is confusing for a team that is usually so dominant at US Bank Stadium.
Yeah.
This is one team where that home field advantage, the crowd, I think that it hurts Minnesota more than it hurts a lot of the other teams in the league. I do want to mention, though, that for fans, go on social media and make sure you get your votes in for FedEx Ground Player of the Week. It should be pretty much a landslide for Dalvin Cook, because he has the touchdowns, he has the yardage. The only thing he doesn't have over the Titans running back is yards per carry. But I mean, I think that this is going to be a pretty good setup for Dalvin Cook to win that Ground Player of the Week. And with that comes a really cool charitable package that goes to Minneapolis with food and supplies and stuff like that. So if you guys could help out, that'd be really amazing.
That's really awesome.
Get Dalvin Cook that win.
A.J. Dillon, the Green Bay Packers running back, who is the one with the COVID, he will not play Thursday for them. So there you go.
Yeah, Packers got a short weekend. Who are they playing?
I believe the 49ers is what I just read.
Oh, 49ers are going to be a tough...
San Francisco 49ers on Thursday night.
They're going to be struggling.
Yeah, I believe they're out. Not that anyone cares about the 49ers and their updates, but I think Jimmy Garoppolo is probably going to be out for the year.
Yep, he's out indefinitely.
High ankle issue they were talking about today per Adam Schefter.
He's going to miss multiple weeks.
They still provided an NFC Championship rematch, but not quite the same.
No.
Jimmy G done with the 49ers?
For indefinitely for now.
Yeah.
I think they're about ready to let that ship sail.
I think so too. This definitely don't help.
They've got the defense. They've got talent on the offensive line. They don't need a lot of pieces to be a team that can be an annual Super Bowl contender. So
maybe they are a Gardner Minshew away from another Super Bowl appearance.
Gardner Minshew, / scapegoat. I love that on the Yahoo thing.
I really want him in Minnesota as our backup.
But like we've said before, they won't put a quarterback behind Cousins that will push any at all for a starting job. So
no, and Minshew has a little bit of that Tebow mentality where fans are going to be clamoring for him. If he was to come in, like you'd have a little bit of that going on. So
yeah, you think the fans were shouting for Kyle Sloter? Imagine if this guy came to Minnesota and Kirk Cousins started playing bad.
Right.
I'd be happy with it. I would just like to see a competent backup, but we've had that discussion about 5 million times on this show. Case Keenum away from a Super Bowl?
Oh, bold statement.
Oh, that's funny.
Tyrod Taylor, if he could quit having the worst luck in the NFL.
You know what's funny? Speaking of Case Keenum, I saw this meme about the Browns the other day. We can kind of tie this in with Case Keenum and Kevin Stefanski, but it's 5 little helmets, and it's a Baker Mayfield way that things go chronologically, and it's play like shit, beat an overrated team, get real big hype, get the crap beat out of you, play like shit, and keep going around. It just keeps going and going and going. I'm surprised he hasn't started there yet. I think the bag is out on Baker Mayfield that he's not that good. Because didn't they get rocked yesterday too? Did I see that wrong? Maybe they haven't.
I'm not sure.
They got beat by the Raiders yesterday, 16-6.
Sounds like a thrilling affair.
Oh, that sounds fun. But yeah, that was the Packer game. That was crazy. Like Kyle, you pretty much nailed it there. Just enjoy it, soak it in.
Oh, right on.
The Lions are coming up this Sunday in U.S. Bank. They lost to the Colts yesterday. The Colts put a whooping on the Lions yesterday, 41-21. Ugh. That's pretty bad. They had 2 rookie running backs starting yesterday. I think it's Swift and Taylor. I think between them they had like 27 yards.
Yeah, Adrian Peterson isn't really part of their game plan much at all anymore.
Until he comes to Minnesota.
Little Viking revenge tour this weekend. Peterson, Griffin, and Curse. They're all on the Lions.
Joe Webb.
Oh, he's still around. I forgot about him.
I mean, he's on the practice squad, so he might be like there watching the game or something, but he's around.
As a 7 seed, don't count us out. Here you go. This is the best comment so far of the show.
I haven't done any scouting, so that don't mean much to me yet.
Oh, God. Oh, I didn't see this one, too. I remember this game. Me too, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up. It still hurts. That was a terrible year.
I have a Tim Tebow jersey.
Nice.
Yeah, your jersey collection's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Don't you have like a Mark Sanchez jersey too?
I do not have a Mark Sanchez jersey. Although I would wear one. If anyone has a Mark Sanchez jersey, I will wear that.
Oh, what is it that you have then? Is it a plaque?
Yeah. I picked it up at Goodwill for like $3. It's an 8x10 photo and like a plaque. So it's like, I don't know, like that big of Mark Sanchez. It is
nice.
It is currently in my basement.
So I'm looking ahead to the Lions, just trying to get an update there. That's why I'm probably not going to win my fantasy this week, because Kenny Galladay is out. Kenny Galladay.
Marvin Jones has massive games against Minnesota.
Kenny Galladay is going to be out more than likely. Lions place Trey Flowers, our defensive end, on IR a day after an early exit. Didn't have a firm update. Matt Patricia did not have one on Kenny Galladay, so.
My fantasy football team full of Joneses is definitely going to have Marvin Jones in there.
Oh, so that's a good player to watch this. I was trying to remember who their picks were. They had DeAndre Swift from Georgia, the running back. They also got Jeff Okudah. That'll be a good rookie matchup there. I'll probably have him playing a lot against Justin Jefferson.
Okudah has not been good this year.
I want to see this kid.
I did that.
He
one
went
time
3rd overall.
But as I've said before, cornerbacks take a while to develop in the NFL. So I'm not about to call any corner a bust after 8 games. But he's struggling.
Yeah.
Skull Prod has a good point. Even if we end up 8 or 8, 7 and 9, that's wishful thinking at this point. But yeah, if we get there, still draft the top quarterback. I mean, you kind of have to. I think they're kind of forced into that.
Well, if the Vikings can beat the Lions, the Cowboys, and the Bears, that's 5-5. I know that's looking far ahead and past those 3 teams, but those right now all look like winnable games.
The Bears team is going to be hard to beat. Their defense is absolutely nasty, but the offense is very much containable. I like our offense too if the offensive line can play up to the way they did yesterday.
So yeah, I would call 7 and 9 or 8 and 8
comment up on the screen.
reasonable.
This one?
I don't know if that's a typo or not.
No,
Golden,
I wasn't going
Tate
to,
is
but
brilliant.
we have to since you called that out. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
that's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Here we go.
You ever watch the
Over.
Office? They have a lot of, or not the Office, but the League. They have a lot of fun with Golden Tate's name in that one.
I bet.
All right, are we over or under the Vikings going 88? I'm hitting the hard under there. Can't do it.
7-9. I'm still sort of a believer that the Vikings are going to get some wins here.
I think they're going to get some wins. The optimistic guy in me says 6-10. I think that first stretch of the first 8 games is rough.
Considering everything that happened, I would call 6-10 a reasonable season for the Vikings this year.
It's a cool little stat. Skull Prod says Harrison Hand is ranked 4th among rookie corners who had at least 50-plus snaps. That's pretty cool.
Where's Jeff Okudah on that list?
Oh, that's good.
Because I don't have that list.
He's looked good for a 5th-round pick. You know what it would have looked really good for a 5th-round pick? Desmond King to the Vikings. That's what I would have liked. Come on, man. We need a corner. Zimmer hasn't made his trip to
invest in a rental.
Yeah.
Why not?
I don't know if I've ever seen a team so thin at quarterback or at corner as what this Vikings team is right now.
I like this take right here. Take a quarterback in the second, O-line in the first.
Sure.
Why not?
I'm still not sure. I know that the trend is there and everything, but to see the Vikings in the situation they're in, it wouldn't shock me one bit to see corner again in the first round.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
if Zimmer's still here, it's always on the table.
Yeah.
It's always on the table.
Because he's been having some bad luck, and as much as I like Mike Hughes, that neck injury just seems to be something that they've got to monitor closely.
Yeah, if this was a Danielle Hunter situation where it's the first time it's came up and, you have the herniated disc situation where you can have surgery and fix it and just chill for the year, cool. But this is like the 3rd or 4th time he's had to deal with neck issues. Now you got to look at quality of life. So that really sucks because I like that kid's story, just to talk about Mike Hughes for a little bit, because he came from that undefeated UCF team and he had a little bit of an edge and a little swagger to him, but he was a nice, quiet guy. When he starts out the year we get Kirk Cousins and he has like a pick 6, like the second game. I'm like, holy shit, man, this kid might be really good. And then it's just injuries after injuries. So speedy recovery and prayers to Mike Hughes and Cam Dantzler and all the guys that got hurt yesterday. Jesus, man. There was like 3 people that left the game yesterday and didn't come back.
Punctured lung with a cleat? Come on. That's
insane.
That hurts.
Oh, here you go.
It happens.
Here you go. DJ Wanham is amazing. Maybe trading in was good after all.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit.
You missed the first part of the show, Skull Prod. We did talk about that. Kyle West actually brought it up in the chat, and I was just too stubborn to say, like, no, that can't be right. We might not have a point there. Maybe that was a good decision. But, yeah, looking forward, the Lions are coming up, and then we go to the Bears the following Sunday. So Lions won't be as tough of a game as the Bears, but I wouldn't overlook them. They've had some times where they came into U.S. Bank and shocked us in recent years. Might be the last time we see the Vikings play Matt Stafford as a Lion. I think this is the last year he's going to be there. So,
Lions fans seem to believe he's going to play there for many more years, because I made a comment on there about how the Lions should probably be looking forward to drafting and developing a replacement, because so many Lions fans were mocking the Packers when they took a quarterback, when they took Love in the draft.
Isn't that ironic? Kind of hypocritical from a Lions fan to say that.
A little bit.
A little bit.
That's awkward. Here we go. Zimmer said the Dancer could play Sunday. Okay.
He did say there's a good chance.
I mean, he looks dead on the field.
He apparently didn't have I don't believe he tested for a concussion. He was able to feel all his extremities, and he's recovering nicely. And if he can practice at a high level, I mean, he might be on the field.
I hope so, but I worry about his health. Just
Yeah,
the way that looks.
100%. The thing that was scariest there, I mean, obviously it took a long time. It paused the game for a solid 5 to 10 minutes, but his hands were like stiff. I was like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing you see when someone gets knocked out cold. You know, their body goes stiff as a board, and they're in whatever position they fall in, which is terrifying. But
stiff as a board, light as a feather.
There you go. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, this was a really good, a fun game. Nobody picked the Vikings to win, and they just came in and shocked the entire world. What did they have? They were up 28 to 14 from going into the fourth quarter. So that's cool. Don't have to worry about Green Bay anymore this year. Start looking at these divisional games and some conference games coming up. They still have the Buccaneers and the Cowboys. That'll be interesting. They've got the Panthers, the Jaguars, and then they've got 2 pairs of divisional games still to round out. So,
just an offhand comment here. It really is looking like Tom Brady was the winning factor in the Patriots, doesn't it?
You know, they were so stubborn to not replace Tom Brady, and then it looked like Cam Newton fell in their lap, and it was like, well, here we go again. Bill Belichick's the master. We'll see what happens when the season finishes, but it really is looking like that was a dumb decision for them to not really try harder to replace Tom Brady.
Can I say one thing on that, though?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Do we remember the last play that Tom Brady had in New England Patriots uniform? The pick six in the wild card. Tom Brady on that New England team, I'm going to defend Bill Belichick because I think he's the greatest ever.
Yeah.
Tom Brady on that team right now, they wouldn't have a winning record. They don't have any skill players whatsoever. None.
Tom
It's
Brady
weird,
can win
man.
with 5 slot corners. Or with 5 slot receivers.
And that
That's what he can do.
true, and it's
Yeah,
very
that's-
true comparing him to like Cam Newton because Cam Newton's all over the place. But
Give him 4 nobody running backs and 4 nobody receivers. He can make stuff work.
I don't know, man.
He
It's
made
hard.
teams with Chris Hogan.
It's a weird
Hogan?
dynamic because the Bucks pretty much went out and did what LeBron James does every year and built a super team. So he has the most help he's ever had. So of course you would hope they would get it together. But good God, man, the Pats fell flat on their face these last couple weeks. I can't believe they have the same record as the Vikings right now. That's crazy.
It is. It's unbelievable because the Patriots they haven't been bad since I was in high school. I don't think
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. It's
really
interesting, too, since we somehow turned into the New England podcast here at the end. It's their coordinator, Josh McDaniels, was being talked about how, hey, he's making this work with Cam Newton, and he's going to be the next big hot coaching hire again.
that's what the New England Patriots do. Their coaching staff goes on to coach at other places, and it doesn't really work. And then they've got quarterbacks that were behind Tom Brady, and each of those go out and get big paydays, and those don't really work out.
Yeah.
New England was a factory.
Sorry, I'd love to keep talking New England stuff. I just thought this was interesting. Skullprod says that Mohamed Sanu, former Patriots wide receiver and Atlanta Falcons receiver, is working out for the Lions.
Yeah.
He needs a job. But
Yeah, he's too good to be a free agent.
I don't think that he could play Sunday based on the COVID protocol.
Right, he'd miss a game.
So we wouldn't see him against the Vikings this go around, maybe in Detroit later in the year. But that's an interesting nugget. He's a great wide receiver.
Oh no. Here comes a cat fight. So I'm just gonna warn you guys, might be some hissing.
That's all right. I think that we're pretty much done for the show. It's a little quicker than I expected, but enjoy Victory Monday, man. What a great win yesterday. I couldn't believe the Vikings went into Lambeau and won with this squad this season, the way things had been going. But hey, a victory is a victory, and they damn sure earned it yesterday. So we'll look forward to the Lions game Sunday. And the good news is, I think with the Seattle game out of the way, I think they only have one more primetime game coming up, right?
I'm not sure.
There wasn't many There wasn't many primetime games for the
No.
Vikings this year. It's kind of like they kind of knew that this was going to be bad. On the schedule real quick, and we can start promoting some stuff.
I do want to remind everyone, though, I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, but make sure you're getting your picks in for the Survival League because strikes are getting handed out. We got a couple people that picked today's games. Otherwise, I'd be giving a little bit more of a league update, but we have had some eliminations. We have had strikes hand. Tough one for some people, but I believe we're going to be down to 14 people in the running for the prize package. So it's being narrowed down, and it's getting there. And from what I understand, this prize package might be some fun Viking stuff.
It will be. We're going to contribute like we do every year. We'll throw in some nuggets there. Probably buy you a Purple People Podcast shirt. Maybe send you some cool small collectibles. I mean, we'll talk about it, but we'll chip in like we usually do. But you have to beat Adam first. Let's talk about it.
I've got a strike now, so I'm human, I guess.
Yeah, but you got it. It was the best strike that you could have gotten.
Right. That's what I think why I took this is because I'm okay if I take that strike. Well, while I'm promoting things, let's talk about the VikingAge.com. Some good stuff over there. I put my best and worst out for the game against the Packers. I'm going to have my MVPs out tomorrow. And then, of course, a piece that I'm really looking forward to is the power rankings because I don't know where experts are going to put their Vikings on the power rankings this week. It should be all over the place, and I'm looking forward to evaluating where experts think the Vikings are after beating one of the top teams in the league. So it should that to me is what's really interesting because I break it down mathematically. I find the average, I find the range, and I do math stuff with it. I do the maths.
Adam's good at math.
So yeah, head on over to the Viking Age, you can get all that content. Undeadwalking.com. The Walking Dead is still off to a great start. They're going to have a Christmas special with some of the cast live, which is going to be fun.
Oh, really? Like old
Yeah.
cast? Any of the old cast coming back?
Possibly.
Ooh, I will watch that.
Let's see. The Walking Dead season 10C is in production. So that's pretty fun. They are actually got the green light and they're doing some filming. So we may have some updates there. World Beyond is halfway through its first season, which is pretty exciting considering the show is taking a look at the apocalypse through the eyes of a younger audience. So that's kind of interesting. And of course, Fear the Walking Dead is having a bit of a renaissance in season 6 and has been putting out some really good episodes. And as a fan that admittedly gave up a bit during seasons 4 and 5, season 6 has been kind of nailing it, hitting it out of the park. So definitely worth checking out. As far as my Twitch, I have not been on there much lately. I would love to head over there and play some games. So what we got to do is message me on Twitter or something and let me know and say, hey, let's play some Jackbox or let's play some Fall Guys or, I'm down to play some games. Just got to hit me up.
All right.
How many seasons, Adam, really quick, is The Walking Dead into? Like the mainline Walking Dead?
Season 10 just finished up.
Wow,
but
season 10.
Season 10 will have 6 extra episodes that they're filming right now. And then season 11 will follow up after that. And season 11 is going to be the final season.
Okay, I am so far behind on that. I've hovered over it on Netflix a couple times, and I've thought about I kind of want to start from the beginning and go through it.
I gotta recommend that because there have been some great moments from that show, and I know that a lot of people don't like it because they compare it to shows on other networks that can do more with violence and gruesomeness and nudity and all that kind of stuff. You can't do that kind of stuff on AMC. So yeah, you can't really compare like The Walking Dead to Game of Thrones like people like to do.
AMC,
but for what The Walking Dead can do, I think that they've done a great job on AMC. And as just a fan of zombies, I enjoy it a lot.
AMC lets them get away with their fair share of content as well too. And that will conclude the Walking Dead portion of this week's podcast.
But we got voting talk over in the chat going on, and I do want to encourage everyone to go vote. And I know Facebook and every form of social media has been smacking you in the face, telling you to go vote.
Right.
So I know that you guys know the election's coming up, and I do encourage you to go vote, have your voice heard. I don't care who you vote for, just be a representative of your country and vote for the leader that you want to be the leader of the United States.
Right on. Just vote. Don't matter who. We don't care who you vote for. Just go out and vote. You could
Right.
write Mike. You could write Mike Zimmer in the little fill-in box if you wanted to.
There's a Dalvin Cook vote for ground player. That's a good one.
Hell yeah. I
Uh,
vote that you check out Kyle West's stuff on Redbubble. That's what I vote.
I second that vote. You can do it with the link down below on the screen, right down here. Check it out. Get yourself some Purple People podcast merchandise and some other non-political pieces of photography, because we are all sick and tired of that shit, aren't we?
Now, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the Facebook page, but it's been slowly getting a little bit of a facelift, and there's going to be some more adjustments coming soon because I think Mr. West found some settings to mess with.
I found all kinds of cool settings, and I got into the YouTube page as well, too. If you've noticed, we have an updated logo here on the YouTube page. So
right.
You should like and subscribe to our podcast. If you are listening and have somehow made it 56 minutes in and you're not subscribed, you should do so. You should definitely do so. So check us out. Check us out on Facebook. We're put forth maybe a little bit more effort into making sure that we're up with our social media stuff, because we probably should, you know.
Yeah, it was a good time. That was a good call from Kyle, trying to just give it a little bit of an extra oomph and effort, and it was maybe not necessarily absolutely needed time to go and change it, but it was certainly a nice, refreshing new thing. And we have it here, like you mentioned on the page, a new logo here, some good Vikings legends as the background. I actually use it on my personal page as well. So pretty cool stuff.
All that I'm saying is I updated the podcast logo and information, and then the Vikings won a football game. So I'm basically directly responsible for us beating the Green Bay Packers. At least that's how I see it.
Andrew can't wait for Geico commercials to replace the political ads. I'm saying give me some more Lily from AT&T.
Oof. Goodness. Yes, please. That's who I vote for. This is my Instagram page. If you guys want to follow me there. What's that?
Get your music on Twitch. Do it.
I'm going to. I promise.
Yeah, you slacker.
I am on the last home stretch of this course that I'm in San Antonio, and everything is going to get set up. I'm so excited for it.
When you get home, do it.
I will do it when I get home. I've been encouraged by my friend Catherine and Adam from the podcast to get on Twitch, do music there. And yeah, when I can finally go back and be loud and obnoxious in my own apartment and home, it'd be one of the first things that I do, especially on around the holidays. So, but for now, I'll plug this just because I have nothing going on. Follow me on Instagram if you want. We can be friends. That's all I got.
I'm on Instagram too if you want to see my cat. I'm constantly posting cat pictures.
They're good.
People like cats.
It's true. I don't post a lot of selfies, but lately, I think in the past couple months, I've even posted a couple selfies because I thought I looked nice.
Good vibes here.
You ever do that? You ever take a picture of yourself and be like, I look good in this picture?
Yeah. It doesn't happen that often, but when I do.
That's terrible.
Which cat is the photogenic one, Adam? Mew or Bernie?
Bernie gets twice the likes of Mew.
I like Mew.
That's why they fight
a little bit.
And I feel bad because Mew is sitting right here next to me, and I'm petting him, and Mew's tail is hanging over the edge of the desk, and Bernie will come and swat it just to make him mad.
That's why
it's
they
like
fight.
He's fishing.
They fight over the Instagram likes. They're talking crap to each other.
Yeah.
Those orange cats get the love. I tell you, people love the orange cats. But yeah, next week we'll be back to talk about the Vikings game against the Detroit Lions. We did have a nice chat going on in our Discord where we had quite a few people talking about the game with us. and we were sharing a lot of cool information back and forth, talking about weird things. Heck, I even quizzed some of you guys on a Masked Singer contestant. That was kind of fun. So yeah, come join us on our Discord. We usually try to post up a link to that before we head in there. If not, we should try to do that this week, just to kind of remind people that hey, we still do this.
Yeah, we'll definitely post that up. I actually stayed there for the entire game this week, so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's one of the things I actually miss. It's like before we came over to StreamYard to stream our shows, and we weren't doing this for a live audience over on YouTube or through Hangouts. It feels so different. And when I'm not in Discord during a game now, it feels different because you guys will catch some of the things that I might not, and I'll catch some of the things that you guys might not, and to share like me saying, "Oh, look at the way that they ran that stunt on defense to pull the guard out of position," and you guys will be like, "Yeah," and then you guys will be watching a receiver run a route and cut back, and I'll be able to watch that and be like, "Oh, all right." So yeah, that's what this is. This is a community of football fans that love talking football. And I hope that you guys can join in wherever you can, whether it's Discord during a game or here live on YouTube while we do our chatting and have some fun, because this is such a cool thing. And I don't see myself wanting to stop either the podcast or the chats during games anytime soon. So Thanks again to everyone for interacting, because it does mean a lot to us. And it's just us loving football and you guys loving football and us doing it at the same time.
It's better when we win.
It really is much better when we win.
Yeah.
It's better when we win, and it's better when we're all together. So the more people that can then join in, like Adam said, that was so cool.
Very positive show.
It's been a great show. It's been a really, even though the season's kind of been crap, it's been a good season for interaction.
Fire Riley Reef.
Fire Riley Reef. Fire Zimmer and Cut Cousins. We're going to go with Sean Mannion the rest of the year.
Yeah, thanks again to everyone joining in live. We appreciate it. And remember to stay classy. Minnesota.